So in this lesson, we're going to be talking about the mean. The mean is the same as the average, which is a word you've probably heard before because your grades are averages. So it's already familiar to you a bit. The mean of a data set is the sum of the data divided by the number of pieces of data. So you take all the pieces of data, or like all of your grades, and you add them all up, and then you divide by how many there are. So let me show you some examples. So I have a table here that's talking about swim team members, and I have a highlighter. I've already written down all the notes, so what I highlight I want you to write. So what I did here was, on this table, this pictograph, I counted how many swim team members there were for each team by counting the number of little people, because the key tells me that one person is one swimmer. So in this first team there's 9, the second team has 11, the third team has 6, and the fourth team has 10. And then if you come over here, you'll see this is how we write mean. We're going to add up all the number of team members, 9 plus 11 plus 6 plus 10, that came straight from my table, and then we're going to divide by 4. Now where did that 4 come from? Well, there are 4 teams, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I have 4 pieces of data. So when I add 9 plus 11 plus 6 plus 10, I get 36. I divide that by 4, also known as 9. And now you need to write a sentence with this as well, because what we're doing here is we are summarizing the center of the distribution. We're talking about where the data kind of groups up. What number does the data group up around? That's what I mean by centered. In this case, the data are centered around 9 swimmers. So let me do some examples. Now, I did do my work on a little post-it note just to save some space. You can get post-it notes as well. So looking at the table here for snowfall, I see that I have snowfall in inches, and then there are 5 months of snowfall. So that's where I got these numbers from, straight from the table. 20 plus 19 plus 20 plus 17 plus 4, all divided by 5. And yes, you should write this down. When I sum these numbers up, I get 90. Then I divide by 5, and I get 18. So that means that my data are centered around 18 inches of snow. Yes, you need to write this down. Now here's another table that shows jacket prices. And they have very nicely already put the numbers on the top of the bars for us. So I wrote my sum as this: 21 plus 25 plus 28 plus 9 plus 21. That comes straight from the table. And then you see there are 5 different prices of jackets, so that I put the 5 underneath. My sum is 105, then divided by 5, so I get 21. So that means that the data are centered around $21. Yes, you need to write this down. I have another table here with bicycles. And one little picture of a bicycle is one bicycle, so I counted up, and I got 2, 5, and 2. So that's why I wrote 2 plus 5 plus 2. There are 3 bicycle shops, I guess, and so that's why I have divided by 3. So 2 plus 5 plus 2 is 9, then divided by 3 is 3. So the summary of the center of my data, the data are centered around 3 bikes. And finally, my last example.